Greetings and salutations, ladies and gents. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope that everyone's keeping well. What a day. What a morning. What a night. Honestly, I don't know what to say about last night. I really don't know what to say. It's bizarre. It's strange. But the Green Party won an election in Gorton Denton in Manchester, and there's been a lot of uproar whether it was legitimate. And we're going to go through all of it today. But I think it's quite clear to see that there's a big problem in the UK. And we're going to try and address some of it today. I hope that you're all keeping well anyway. We're streaming in vertical today, I believe. I think. Let me just double check. I think we are. Yeah, we are. We're in vertical. Right, so I hope you're all doing okay. So we're going to get into the news and everything that's been going on in the last 24 hours. And it's actually quite disturbing, really. But we're going to jump straight in. So come say hello to the chat and get involved. How are you doing, Derek? I hope that you're keeping well. Yeah, we're going to get into this madness that's been going on in the last 12 hours, 24 hours in Manchester. So this is fucking nuts. It's absolutely bloody nuts, mate, I tell you. Right, so let's check out exactly what's going on. So, X is a tool for delivering hate towards Muslims, says Bob Morgan. Oh, you're a twat, this fella, isn't he? What a dick. Sorry, let me just reply to him. Idiot comment. Really, honestly, an idiot comment. So, yeah, the election is... Yeah, you're good? Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. Right, okay, so let's get through. The Crown Prosecution Service has lost a High Court battle to overturn the acquittal of Hamit Koskan, who had been accused of a religiously aggravated public order. This is the man who burnt the Quran outside a Turkish consulate in London. And apparently you can't do that in England or anything to offend Islam now because it's against the law. But he's won his case, which I think is absolutely bloody brilliant. After last night's news, I think that's something that we kind of needed. But I'm going to get into all of the latest, as I say. We'll get straight into that now. Let's get to my bookmarks. I'm baffled what happened last night. I'm absolutely baffled. I tell you what, let's get an immediate response to all of this by Keir Starmer of the Labour Party, who came third in this election, which is an absolute battering considering they've been in power in that constituency since 1931. So almost 100 years Labour have controlled that constituency. So let's see what he's got to say.
Incumbent governments quite often get results like that mid-term, but I do understand that voters are frustrated, they're impatient for change. And I came into politics, late in life as it happens, to fight for change for those people who need it, the people who need an NHS that works for them.
Do you know something? That's not his full speech. We need to see, how you doing, kids? We need to see his full speech. It's not that long, but he starts to sort of repeat himself a bit because he kind of gets lost. And yeah, this is the full speech that he's given. So yeah, as I say, the Green Party came first. Reform came second, Labour came third, which has never happened in the history of politics, and the Conservatives came fourth, Liberal Democrats, I don't even know where they were. Anyway, it says, Keir Starmer, Labour, only political party that can unite the country. Okay, mate.
I genuinely don't understand it. Why you ran such a bizarre campaign in Gorton Denton. The whole by-election was about Labour beating Reform, but you were beaten by the Greens. Was it all just too clever by half, or were you just a bit squeamish about taking on another progressive left-wing party?
You got owned, mate.
The Labour Party, the entire movement came together to fight a positive campaign about bringing our communities and our country together. And we were fighting.
It didn't work.
Two parties, Reform on the right, with their politics of hatred and division, the Greens on the left with their politics of getting out of NATO.
It's not politics of division, is it, you absolute muppet? It's telling the truth, and people in this country need to start waking up to what the heck is going on. These are the people that have let in uncontrolled, unvetted people into this country, and now they're voting in things like this election, and predominantly those people in the Green Party. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I'll get into it in a second. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing doesn't make sense to me. You've got all of the Muslim community in Manchester voting for the Green Party. And you can go, well, that's great. They can vote how they like. The leader of the party is a gay man. A gay man. He can't even go into a mosque in Manchester because he's not allowed. And they're voting for him. So they're not voting for him for politics. They're voting to beat out Labour and beat out Reform. So it's about their ideology. That's just the truth. And it's the conversation this country needs to have.
The middle of the conflict with Ukraine, of legalising all drugs, including heroin and crack cocaine, to give to adults. They are the extremes in politics. They can identify the grievances. It's only Labour that can unite the country and communities, and only Labour that's rolling up its sleeves and getting on the hard yards, which is
wrong.
actually how do we turn this around, providing the solutions. That's what we're focused on.
Two final questions. Were you wrong to block Andy Burnham? Is there any bit of you that regrets that decision?
We had an excellent candidate in this by-election.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
Every single person who went campaigning, and I thank the candidate, and I thank every single person who went
you didn't have an excellent candidate.
Positivity.
You didn't have an excellent candidate. You just had your arse handed to you, mate.
And we had an excellent candidate, absolutely rooted in her community. But we were fighting the extremes of the right and the extremes of the left.
He's just said all of that. He's repeating himself. Do you see what I mean? He's like reading his cue points.
We are changing lives. That's what we came into politics to do, to fight for the people who need better lives. Not just identify the grievances, not just tear our communities apart, but provide the solutions and unite the country.
Well, he hasn't united anything, is he? He's divided people, and it's going to continue to divide. So again, this isn't me just hating on the Muslim community, man. Look, they've told us what they want to do in this country, and they've been telling us for decades. We will get into power, you know, and do what we want to do, and they're doing it. And this government and the previous government has allowed it to get to the stage that it's at. So let's just, again, we're going to go over everything today. This is Small Heath, Hell on Earth in Birmingham. I don't know what happened here, but here's another video. This is Birmingham.
Operation Livestream.
What the hell? Again, import all of this. What do you expect? This is England now. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, I'll save that. That's the speech there by Keir Starmer. As I say, he's just kind of waffled about, and they've come third. Nicholas Lazak says, Hannah Spencer is an illegitimate MP. The Gorton and Denton by-election was rigged through sectarian Muslim voting, family voting practices. We'll get to that in a little while because there's been talk of fraud and all of that kind of stuff, so we'll get to all of that. The Green Party is a fifth columnist Islamo-Marxist Trojan horse. I think we know this. Every single time I go out, I get harassed and heckled, and not by the people from this country. Okay, who's this one?
It wasn't
Birmingham.
a very British
This is
city.
Birmingham. Okay.
Well, I don't think it was a British part of the city, quite frankly, because if you watch the video itself, you can see the graffiti everywhere. You can see foreign signs in foreign languages. None of the people there, barely anyone there was British, was English. And you have to question, what's the point of all these people coming over here to this idea of Britain, this country called Britain, when they're not adopting British values, when they're not, integrating into the population?
What's a British
So then it should make people a little bit concerned to wake up and say, if this isn't a problem with immigration and illegal migrants, you see people that came in over Monday and Tuesday, we had 600-700 people come into the country, and they're going to be put into communities, right? So then they will start to outweigh the local natives, and then we'll see what we've just seen in Manchester, where the Muslims are not going to vote. Why would they vote for British values? Why would they care what I think or what my Christian values are? They do not give a shit. Their ideology comes first. Therefore, the people in Manchester voted with their faith, and that's what they will continue to do. And then they will get into power. I don't want that, and I don't think, well, I'd like to think most British people wouldn't want that.
I would say British values, well, there's a lot of things that are British values. It's just how we are, it's our politeness, it's the rule of law.
The rule of law, constitution, having a pint of lager, roast dinners, life as we know it in England. Ladies being allowed to dress how they want, not having inbred families, Jesus Christ.
Law, respect for the rule of law, tolerance, integrating into British culture. And you can see by this and also various aspects of Birmingham where I went around where primarily there was the bin strike. It wasn't just the bin strike what the issue was. I think there was just a general disregard of the area. There were streets where it was just fully halal supermarkets advertised, mosques everywhere. Everyone around us were wearing burqas. I felt quite revealing wearing my normal, outfits. And everyone was speaking a foreign language.
So you felt like you were...
I mean, I mentioned this about 6 months ago. No, it weren't even that long ago. It's probably 2 or 3 months ago before Christmas. I went out to see some family in Essex, and I went out to a local shop because I had to post some stuff for Christmas presents, and I had to go to 2 different postal places, and one of them was Post It and the other one was Relay or Replay. I think it's Relay that does it. Anyway, a courier service. I went into one place and it was Russians and they didn't speak English. And I went into the other one and it was Asians who didn't, like Indian Asians, didn't understand a word I'm saying. And I'm thinking, I'm walking into a local place in Essex and they don't even understand a word I'm saying. Now, you could say, well, that's hateful, but I'm in England. Surely I should be able to walk down the street and say hello to someone and have someone that understands what the fuck I'm saying.
In England?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Matthew, why is her view sick?
Well, you gave some examples of what you think to be British values: tolerance, politeness, the rule of law. And from that clip, a sunny Saturday morning, was it? Sunday morning, people all seemed very polite. They seemed to be obeying the law. They seemed to be perfectly friendly, not shopping at big supermarkets, doing some good stuff for local business. Seemed very British to me. We know that there are...
It's not very British, though. It's not local business, though. It's local business of the Muslim community. It's not British business, is it? You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Of British cities, not just Birmingham, but also Bradford and other cities in the north, that are not perhaps as integrated as I think it would be good for them to be. And that should be...
Right, so people are coming here, they're not integrating with British culture, they're voting against British values, and you're saying it's not a problem. Like, what... You know?
Be encouraged. But the tone of what you're putting out there, un-Britishing people that you may not even have spoken to, but very possibly all had British passports, I think is high...
That does not mean shit. That does not mean a damn thing. If you're saying a British passport makes you completely British, then I might as well go to courier because I'm the same as Kim Jong-un. Like, what are you talking about, mate?
Divisive. Now, I found you a very polite person in the green room, very friendly, and so I'm not having a go at you as a human being, but I am having a go at your views, because I don't think we need those views in this country. We've all got to live together. You know, what is it? Something like...
No. You've just seen last night, mate, the reaction of what's happening. It's not about living together. It's about people that do not think and feel the same way that British people do and do not believe the things that we do. They do not want the country to be the way that it is. Take note of what's happened to Lebanon and other countries. Once Christian nations, no longer.
Like how 74%, 75% of this country identify as British white. That means 25%, a quarter of this country are not British white. About 20%, a fifth, are not white at all.
Yes, and it's changed that way since 1990. It was 80 or 90% British white, and in London, it's like 38% white, English white. In London, in our big cities. So, London, gone. Bradford, gone. Birmingham, gone. Manchester, gone. So all of the big cities, we're putting migrants into these places to overwhelm them. So when it comes to voting, non-English people are getting to vote in these elections, and they're not going to vote for British values to keep... Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I fucking losing my mind here?
We have to live together, and most of us live together very
It's
nicely.
so naive.
I was born in London, grandson of Jewish refugees on my father's side, and I've always valued the multi-ethnicity, the many religions, the many races that I live side by side with. And most of us, let me tell you, in London, I think London is a very good model for integration.
Yeah, it's a very good model. I'm loving all of the flipping sexual abuse of women and cover-ups. I'm loving it. I think it's going great.
Most of us get on really well.
Can you name any other city in the world where the native population is a minority? I mean, London is one, Birmingham's another.
I think it was suggested that London was a couple of years ago, and I think in the end it turned out not to be.
Well, that's out of shit, mate, because it's 39% of London is British white Christians. 39% in our own country. Our main city isn't our own natives. So you can sit here all you like. I'm all for diversity. I'm all for let's share the love. But when you've got people in the country that are not integrating, that's what it comes down to. When people are in this country and not integrating and they don't have the same values as us, then it's going to change the country and the foundations of this country, and that's what's happening. And it's so fucking naive for this government and people like him to just pretend that it's not happening, just ignoring it. Like, oh, it'll be okay.
I'm sure there are other cities in the world, but I haven't looked into that. Let me tell you, you've just suggested that London is one. Let's say, for argument's sake, that you were right. I'm very happy with my life in London. I go everywhere in London. I appreciate I'm a 6'3" man, and so when women have issues with
yeah, exactly. Look at the nightlife in London. Look at the bars in London. Think about it for a second. Nightlife is absolutely gone to shit since COVID, right? And the government doesn't support it because the majority of the people there that go up there now are not English people that go to nightclubs and drink and bars and everything else. If you've got everything but British people in your main city, then the whole traditional outlook, the whole culture of what is happening in London is completely changing. I mean, the Trocadero in Piccadilly Circus, I've mentioned it time and time again. The Trocadero in Piccadilly Circus was, it's huge. It's this huge building, and it's about 3 or 4 floors. I mean, it's massive, this building, right? And it used to have things like Laser Quest. It used to be the big arcade in London. All the kids used to go up there for arcades. I know that times change, and I know that things change, but that is being converted into a mosque, and that's literally next to Leicester Square. What are we talking about here? You can't say that it's not changing the foundations and the culture of this country when you've got something right bang in the middle of the centre of London. And the Mayor of London has just announced that they're going to flatten the whole of Oxford Street. So there's not going to be a road down Oxford Street, which is one of the main shopping places in London, goes from Tottenham Court Road, Oxford Street, Bond Street, all the way up to flipping Hamleys is off there, Harrods, Selfridges, all of the big places, and that's just going to be flattened into a walkway. Why? We're eradicating everything that we've built in this country.
Sexual predators or any form of violence, of course I listen to them, but our jails are rammed with white British sex offenders, white violent who...
Yes, because it's an English country, so you would expect more people of an English than the English natives to commit crime or whatever, because it's a majority English country. But then if you do that per capita, it's fucking ridiculous. The biggest sex offenders in this country are Afghans, Muslim Afghans that are in this country. Why? The biggest that are committing crimes like theft and robbery is Albanians. That's not English, is it? Per capita. To say that this isn't a problem and a growing problem, look at knife crime. Look at knife crime in London. It's ridiculous. It's absolute. And theft and phone theft. That's not English white people doing it, but we don't talk about all of that, do we? Because it's racist.
Paedophiles. Let's not other those with a different colour skin or a different religion or a different background.
Sorry to interject. A study from the Daily Telegraph the other week showed that foreigners were 3 times as likely to be arrested for sex offences in the UK.
Well, the stats were
what?
15% of convictions, I think, between 21 and 23, something like that.
Yes, so when you think about it, if you've got a community, let's hear it out for a second, and I'm going to just be devil's advocate, yeah? Let's say you've got a community with the women who are shit scared of their men. They can't dress how they want, they can't do what they want, and it's okay to beat your woman, which it is. Do you really think they're going to report sexual offences? Do you really think so? I don't.
Were foreigners.
Disproportionately foreigners.
Were foreigners. 15%, OK, so that means that 85% might not have been. There was also 8% where there was an unknown nationality. But 15%, that's what we know, were foreign nationals. And where foreign nationals commit sex crimes or commit any level of serious crime, they should be deported. That is the government's policy.
Yeah, they should be deported, but they're not being deported, are they? They've been putting our prisons, and the British taxpayer has to pay for it, and which is why our prisons are full up. You silly prat.
Well, if I could push back, it's very easy for you to say that London is an amazing place. I'm not going to say where you live, but...
Yeah, exactly, because he's living in... I don't even fucking need to know. He's living in somewhere that's rich, loads of money. Great for him. I'm not hating on that, man. The guy's done well for himself. She's your typical white girl. No disrespect. She's your typical blonde white girl. There ain't a cat in hell's chance you're going to have her walk through Whitechapel and Aldgate and walk into Liverpool Street. No fucking way. No way would she do that. You'd have to be nuts to do that. But we're talking about England. It shouldn't be that way.
You disclosed it.
I live in Notting Hill Gate, which is one of the most ethnically diverse areas in the city.
Notting Hill Gate.
It's a very nice area.
It's just the most expensive neighbourhood.
It is the most divided. It is the most divided, I think, borough in the country in terms of socio-economic.
No, but the thing is, though, the one thing that he's missing out here for those that are not in England, yeah, whether you like it or not, I don't have a problem. I do not have a problem with the black community in this country. I think, and I've stated it many, many times before, we've got problems in this country in terms of crime, theft, abuse, all of the normal stuff, yeah, gun crime, violence, right? That comes from the white community, these lot, me, and it comes from the black community. There's a big problem with that. But I don't individually have problems with the black and Jamaican or fucking... we do not have that problem. There's not a problem with me walking through Brixton, or there isn't a problem with me walking through Streatham. There's not a problem with me walking through Hackney, because I suppose as a guy, I know how to handle it. It's different. I can understand, I suppose, in a way. Yeah, it maybe works the same way for women, but it's still not the same for a woman. Women will still get treated better from that community than they would by going through Whitechapel, Aldgate and all of these places. That's 100%, 100%.
I will give you a tour, happily. It's where Grenfell Tower, my neighbours, 70-something of whom died in that fire 8 years ago.
You live in that area.
I live right around the corner. I've played football right at the bottom of that tower. The point is, London is multi-diverse.
I went there once and I had a cup of coffee with someone and said, that's him. I said hello to a black person once. He's an idiot.
From everywhere under the sun. And by and large, we get on very well.
I've had experience of that multiculturalism. I live in Tottenham, a very rough area of Tottenham, because that's the reality of working class people who want to move to London. And every single time I go outside, I get harassed, I get catcalled. My friends also experience the same thing. And to me, completely...
Yeah, so again, for those of you that don't know, I'll just say, like, say my glasses or my nose, say my nose is the centre of London. Tottenham is up here by my eyebrows. Where he lives is kind of here, just by the top of my moustache. So he's like right in the centre of London. And Tottenham's like here. That's where, like, next to Walthamstow and stuff like that. So it is London, but it's just kind of pushing out of London.
Frank, it's not by people who come from this country. It's by people who come from countries who do not respect women, who come from countries where the femicide rate is off the charts. We should not be allowing them into our country. That's the pushback when it comes to multiculturalism.
This is what I'm saying. I think the government and these idiots like this fella on here, they're missing the point. It's not really about race. It's not about that. It's a cultural difference. That's what I'm saying. Black culture and English culture is kind of intertwined now. You know, you'll have people like me who listen to R&B, love hip-hop, love, you know what I mean, garage, grime, drum and bass. Like, there's a cultural connection between Caucasians and Jamaican community. There just is. There's going to be people that are going to be racist towards different... That's always going to exist. But the Jamaican community in this country gives a lot to this country. Have given fucking everything to... In my opinion. Especially with music and food. Brilliant. Absolutely. You know what I mean? There's a difference, though. Girls like her. Let's look at it like that. That girl there, I don't even know her. I can imagine her going to a dancehall rave with her friends and listening to ragga and bashment. She would go to a rave like that with her friends. I don't even know her, but she would. Yeah, you're going to get a few idiots. That same girl is not going to walk to a nightclub that's a predominantly Asian Muslim. There's not a fucking hell. No way would she go in there. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's a cultural similarity between us, Caucasians, and the black community, whereas between Caucasians and the Muslim community is we're completely worlds apart. And that's just how it is, and it's not being spoken about, and it's not racist to say it either. Anyway, let's listen to Nigel Farage. This is after the Greens won last night in Gorton Denton.
It's a victory. Yes, it's a victory for sectarian voting. It's a victory for cheating in elections. Back in 2015, there was a by-election in Oldham. I called it bent and corrupt because of the way that postal votes were being corralled within the Muslim community. The
Yep.
same happened again in Peterborough in 2019. And, you know, I even fought a court case against what I saw when someone turned up with a supermarket bag with 1,000 postal votes in. Well, in some ways, I've been on my own in trying to call out fraud in politics. But last night, at the close of play, a very reputable organisation called Democracy Volunteers said in 12% of voting cases they had witnessed family voting. That means...
So for those that don't understand, I expect he will explain it, but family voting, for those that don't get it, it's not just, like me, my mum, my dad and my sister went to a voting place and we all voted. It means you've got the booth, the booth, and you've got the banner things there. I'm supposed to go in that booth myself, sign it myself, and then go. What he's going to say is that it's families that have gone in together and they're all talking to each other to do the same thing. Well, you could have done that before you go in. You could say that, but you can't do that. That's against the law in this country. That's illegal, and people have witnessed it happening. So if that's happening, that vote immediately should be banned, but it hasn't been. Now, I don't know if that would have been enough for the Green Party not to win. I don't know. Also, the other thing is canvassing. You can't have people outside polling stations with flags, you know, like vote for this person, make sure you vote for... You can't do that. You can't do that. You've got to stay away from it. It's got to be non-biased. It's got to be clean. It's got to be clean. It wasn't. We can. Well, I'll show you all of that.
A husband and wife or more going into the privacy of the polling station and effectively watching how the other member of the family votes. This is illegal.
Yeah, and the reason you could say, well, maybe they didn't do it outside. Maybe they could have arranged it outside. There's a reason that, and there's a suggestion of fraud here because the Green Party put out their promotion to encourage people to vote for the Green Party in Urdu and Bangladeshi because the people don't even speak fucking English, yet they're going in to vote. So if they can't speak English, they cannot read in English. Therefore, they need to go in and watch someone and go, tick this box, and they go, right, I'll tick that box. So they're voting on an ideological point of view rather than, what's best for the country. Why would Muslims vote for a gay man? That does not make sense. He cannot go into a mosque there because he's gay. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Under the law, and yet it appears that the council didn't do anything about it. So now there's a debate about fraud in voting. That's a very, very good thing. But I return to the theme. It's postal voting that is being abused massively in this country.
Yep.
We need to get rid of the list. The only people that should ever vote by post are those who are elderly, infirm, or living or working abroad. That's got to be done. What conclusions do we draw? Well, our vote was good. I'm very, very pleased we doubled our vote. The implications of our vote are that right across the north of England, on the 7th of May and elsewhere, in those elections, we are going to do phenomenally well.
I'd say that they are going to do phenomenally well, but I believe that the Green Party, like I said to you just now, every place where you've got a high count of Muslims, they know that they can do this, they will block vote anything other than anything that represents British politics. The Green Party is all about Gaza, Palestine and everything else. It's nothing to do with this country. They've not pushed stuff. What, legalising heroin and crack? Are you fucking insane? Like, are you insane? That's nutty stuff. That's what they've said. We want to legalise crack, cocaine and heroin. I mean, what? Crack, cocaine and heroin and a flipping gay leader. And there's, again, nothing, I've got no problems with someone being gay. But it's not me. It's the Muslim community. It's completely against what they stand for. So the whole thing is hypocritical. That's why I don't buy into it.
Starmer has a massive problem.
Yeah.
He's on the way
yes,
out.
Rick.
He won't survive long.
What's up,
beyond May the 7th, because the momentum on the left is now moving towards the Greens. What about the Conservatives?
Oh, they're done.
In 2019, they got 10,000 votes in the Gorton and Denton
and got
constituency. Last night, they got 700 votes.
Battered.
Less than 2%. Their lowest score in a by-election in their entire history. Starmer's on the way out. The Tory party is completely finished. There's a resurgent hard left working now with sectarian politics. And emboldened, off the back of it, the Churchill statue in London has been vandalised overnight, calling him a Zionist and saying...
So there you go. It's all coming from the same ilk of people. The Palestine Action Mob, who can go in and do what the fuck they like. They can go and vandalise, hit someone with a sledgehammer. You saw that case. Someone hit with a sledgehammer. They broke into the army barracks. You know what? I feel like we're living in some sort of alternate reality, the way things are going here.
Globalise the Intifada. We are in
Intifada, mate.
Very big trouble. And the only party that will fight this, that will turn this around, will clean up the voting system, is Reform.
I don't think they're the right party, but, you know, that's the best bet at the moment. I would have personally go for Restore Britain. But, yeah. So, anyway, that's Nigel Farage. Let's get to the next one. This is insane. UK companies... I will save that because it's not on the same subject. Denton and Gorton is just... Right, this is about last night. Okay, cool. Let's continue on. Here we go. This is Winston.
Locals to people, to voters, and to sort of get an impression of what's going on there. I went to Gorton and Denton about a week ago to speak to locals, to people, to voters, and to sort of get an impression of what's going on there. And I'll tell you a couple of things that really struck me. Firstly, there was one road which is right on the border between Gorton and Denton. Gorton
with you, Rick.
Is the more green part. Greens are sort of dominating there. There's a big Muslim community there. And Denton is where the Reform Party are doing better. On the border, there was a stretch of houses, and I knocked on every single one, and it was Muslim family in each one. And it was the mothers of each family who opened the door.
Sup, Kraken?
And one of them said, "Sorry, I don't speak English." And the other three each said, in not very good English, "Sorry, my husband tells me who to vote for," which is pretty striking.
See, this is what I'm trying to say. It's a cultural difference. So when we're talking about whether the whole thing with integration has worked, this is clearly an example of failure in this. Multiculturalism has completely failed. It has completely failed. This is evidence of that, you know? Because it's not in our culture for the men to tell the women and the children how to vote. You do this, you do that.
I went to Gorton and Denton.
Yep, I've heard about Leicester as well, Leicester City in particular, right? One of my friends lives north of Leicester, just outside, and he said it's a lovely area where he is, but he doesn't go into the town because he doesn't feel welcome there. So, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Leicester will be the next Green Party place. This is what I'm saying. All of these places where it's got a large Muslim community now they've seen that they can do this, they will get everyone in that family to vote one specific way to win seats in Parliament. That's fucking dangerous.
About a week ago.
Because what I'm saying is democracy is supposed to be on the policies of a party. If they can't speak English and don't understand what the policies of the party are, what are they voting for? They're voting to follow their ideology. That's what it comes, and I'll keep repeating myself, but that's what it comes down to. Because they do not give a shit about our policies. They do not care about our culture. It's about getting into positions of power and then changing it to how they want it to be. I'm just saying it now. I never used to talk like this because it would get me in trouble. I just don't care anymore because I'm seeing the eradication of my home. And I think loads of us are.
To locals, to people, to voters, and to sort of get an impression of what's going on there. And I'll tell you a couple of things that really struck me. Firstly, there was one road which is right on the border between Gorton and Denton. Gorton is the more green part. Greens are sort of dominating there. There's a big Muslim community there. And Denton is where the Reform Party are doing better. On the border, there was a stretch of houses, and I knocked on every single one, and it was Muslim family in each one. And it was the mothers of each family who opened the door. And one of them said, "Sorry, I don't speak English." And the other three each said, in not very good English, "Sorry, my husband tells me who to vote for."
See,
which is pretty striking.
Yeah, so I had to play that again, but it's just concerning, and the government don't say anything. Now, this is another video I had to show you, and I'm going to be a bit brutal after we watch this video, but this is another lady I do believe this here? Is this in London? Right, listen to this absolute nutter.
So we've just come from a demonstration outside of number 10, where Zara Sultana revealed to us all that Palestine Action has been prescribed by the House of Commons as a terrorist organisation.
So this was a couple of months ago.
MPs out of the entire House of Commons, there's like 600 of them, I'm not joking, 650 voted against the prescription of Palestine Action, a non-violent...
She just said non-violent. One of them broke into a place and hit someone with a sledgehammer and broke their spine. Non-violent. What is she talking about, you fucking idiot?
Direct action group that has not harmed a single hair on the head of a single human being, only to war machinery. So...
I mean, this is it's laughable because, again, if it goes the way that this lady wants in the United Kingdom and they push and erase what we've got in terms of culture, yeah, this woman here wouldn't be walking down the street like that. She would not be walking down the street like that. She's got a skirt on. We know what would happen to her.
The government has picked its side, and the side is
so
war
gullible
and profiteering, shockingly enough.
What's up, Mon?
The prescription still needs to pass through the House of Lords. That will be voted on tomorrow, I think, and then Palestine Action, some representatives will be able to give an oral hearing on Friday to prevent the ascension.
Bizarre. And again, it all goes through our colleges, our schools, it's the whole system that's created this, the whole system. Now, if you wanted any evidence, don't listen to me and what I'm saying. This is someone, this is an Iranian refugee talking. Listen to him.
I'm a political refugee from Iran. I've been to prison, I've been under Islamic law, and I know how it starts and I know how it ends. And it always starts with the, for some reason, unity of left and Islamists, and it scares me. So
why is
I came
that?
here to be free. I chose Canada as my second home to be live in a free country. And I'm beginning to get really scared because the way things are going, it looks like they're going to basically appease Islamists just to not raise any ruckus or something. They're just...
It's fear. It's fear by the government.
To appease them step by step, and they're not going to stop. They see it as a sign of weakness, so they're going to take more and more. And
brilliant.
I'm against that. I believe Canada should be free, and freedom of speech is something that nobody can take.
See, brilliant. And we saw it the other day. Young Bob went up to Whitechapel, the young man, 17 years old, and he was attacked and a lot of his stuff was stolen outside of Whitechapel in a mosque. And some people can say, well, why would he go to a mosque during Ramadan to speak to people? Because it's a free country, you can do that. If Muslims want to go to a church and wait outside and interview people when they come out, you've got every right to do that. This is England. That's what we do here. They still do not get that. You know, we've seen the videos of the police officer telling people, yeah, you can do that. You go, no, that's hate speech. And then we've got our government creating an Islamophobia law so people won't be allowed to even have these types of discussions. The things I'm saying now will probably be banned. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Jeremy Kyle is laughed at by the Green Party's Baroness Jenny Jones as she defends her party's policy of giving benefits and amnesty to all illegal migrants. Jesus.
Think that a majority of people in the United Kingdom, my love, who are literally
so
at this
peaceful,
moment struggling to pay bills, struggling to do all the normal things, how do you think they feel when they hear that a party that wants to say, come in and we'll make your life better than the very people Hannah and you were talking about? Come on, Jenny.
My love. I grew up on a council estate in Brighton, working class family, and I still live in a council flat here in London, albeit I bought it from the tenant who bought it. But, you know, the fact is we need immigrants. We need people coming to this country.
No one is saying otherwise. Stop manipulating it, darling. That's not what anyone has said. This is not about blocking everyone.
Country to actually do a lot of the work.
Why don't we get the people who are long-term unemployed to do those jobs? Why don't we encourage them?
That is absolutely right. We should be helping people who are long-term unemployed. But this goes back again to the cost of living.
You're right, Derek.
To the economy. The fact is that the economy is being money is being leached out of the economy by people who are very, very wealthy, and they are not putting it back. And I keep getting asked, oh, well, what if we drive all these rich people away? Well, quite honestly, if they're not paying their taxes, if they're not supporting...
Yeah, so drive out all the billionaires who create businesses and create fucking industries in this country. Drive all all of them out and then turn us into Pakistan. That's a fucking great idea, isn't it?
If they're not supporting the NHS.
But my point is, Jenny, jobless...
No, you can't keep interrupting me when you've asked me a question. Just let me finish this. If those rich people don't pay for the infrastructure that helps people to get jobs and decent jobs, then they're welcome to leave. We have to understand that putting money into the economy for people is what we have to do, and that's what the Green Party has been saying.
Jobless migrant households will receive £10 billion in benefits. And listen, we're having a great conversation. You didn't ask the question. How do you...
And she's talking about she's got a council flat in London that she's paid for. So bearing in mind London, let's have a quick look, because I'm assuming it's as crazy as it was, because I was looking about probably a year or two ago just for a one-bedroom flat. Yeah, a one-bedroom flat. Let's have a quick look. So I'm assuming she would probably be somewhere nice. I'm just flat in London to buy. Yeah, let's have a look what the average cost of a flat in London is. Let's have a look. So London, we'd say probably around Tottenham Court Road. London, Tottenham Court Road. Let's have a look around that way, like central London. Knightsbridge. Oh, it's so cheap. Wait a minute. Central London flat prices. Let's have a look. So for a flat, central London flats average 1.13 million over the past year on average. For a one-bedroom flats are commonly found between 500,000 and 1.5 million for a one-bedroom flat. And so now let's just put this into perspective. I cannot afford something as insane like that. I'm not a millionaire. But the government is bringing in illegal migrants and housing them in hotels, which you're hearing now that they're getting rid of all of the hotels by the end of this parliament, which is in 3 years' time. So where are all these people going? They're putting them into council flats. So she said she just bought a council flat, that lady. So she's probably paid minimum 500,000, which I'm expecting someone like her in her position. She's paid more than that. She's not going to live in that's a one-bedroom flat for a woman. She's not living in a one-bedroom flat. She's living in somewhere bigger than that. So I'm expecting she's paid around 900,000 to $1.5 million, maybe more for a flat. I can't afford that. Yet they're making all of the council flats that are going to be empty. They're going to take the illegal migrants out of hotels because people are complaining about it, and they're going to put them in council flats before the native English people. So all of the people on the waiting lists in England who want a council flat have to wait so they can house illegal migrants. Like, what the you know?
You explain this ideological view that we should open the
borders, it's like an apartment,
and make everybody's lives fantastic, because that looks great. So, how do you explain it to working class alarm clock Brits, in your own words, Jenny, who are saying, I live my life, I pay my taxes, I bring my kids up, and I feel, this is a genuine question, 28th in the queue now, not me, not this television or radio station, people out there. What do you say to them?
Say to them that if we have immigrants who actually do amazing jobs, they will pay taxes. They will build a life here.
That's not what he's asking. He's asking about the homes. He's asking about where people are being put. So, for example, higher species. I'll get to all of you in a second, yeah. So, like, if you've got your average Joe, let's just say you've got a fella who's 24, 25, and he meets a young lady, and they've had their fun in life, and they think, I'm thinking of starting a family or something, like, family and kids and stuff. He needs to earn nearly £100,000 a year just to fucking get a one-bedroom flat in London. So he's breaking his back, doing insane hours, like you do, just to get a one-bedroom flat. But then so he has to move out of London because it's too expensive, right? So he has to move out of London and pay to travel all the way into London just to go to work. All right, you go, that's just the way it is. And then you have a boat of 600 men coming to the country with no fucking passport and no ID and nothing. And then the government says, there you go, there's Canary Wharf, there's a nice hotel for you. Get yourself comfortable. And then she's saying, well, they're going to work and all that. You're missing the point. If there's places to be for people and it's cheaper, it should go to the British people. It shouldn't go to anyone anyone other than British people. Doesn't mean white people, it means British people. Anyone who's British. It's crazy, dude.
They will become doctors, nurses, carers, teachers. They will be...
Doctors, nurses and carers. So that all of those men, those 600 men we see come on Monday, they're all going to be fucking doctors and get out. Get out. I don't buy into this no more, and you lot don't either.
Part of our economy, they will support it. They will become part of
rubbish.
our culture. There are parts of Britain where...
They will be part of our culture. She's just... This is what I'm trying to say. They'll be part of our culture. The Green Party just voted against British culture. All of the Muslims block voted for that based on their faith and ideology. So she's saying, no, they'll come in and integrate into our culture. But you've just admitted the people that voted couldn't even speak fucking English. So they can't read the things because they can't read English. So that's not integrating, and then they're voting based on their faith and ideology. Make your mind up.
Say to them that if we have immigrants who actually do amazing jobs, they will pay taxes, they will build a life here, they will become doctors, nurses, carers,
It's nuts.
teachers. They will be part of our economy, they will support it, they will become part of our culture. There are parts of Britain where...
That figure
people are fully integrated.
That figure says that that's not true.
Exactly.
And also, and I know exactly what you're going to say, but we have to do it for the sake of balance. You paint a picture. You sound like that Darren Jones in the Labour Party who says the boats are full of poor women and children. They are...
Yeah, full of men. They're full of men, and we've all seen it. Again, I'd like to reiterate this, and I will do this a lot. I need to reiterate, in my opinion, it's not the... It's one section of people that are causing this problem. It's one section of people that's causing this problem. And I don't believe all of you that are watching here are sitting here going, I hate Jamaicans, I hate... You don't. I know you don't. Because it's just not... We don't hate the Chinese. We've got Chinatown. No one says shit about Chinatown because we don't care. Not in a bad way. Chinatown's my favourite place, isn't it? Right? Home from home. I love Chinatown. They don't cause problems to the British people. They don't vote, right, we need to change. In other words, you don't have all of the Chinese that are in that community go, right, we need to vote to make it more like China here. We need to change the laws to fit our beliefs. No, they come here, they work, they start their businesses, and they're successful. That's bloody brilliant, right? That's what we all encourage in England. That's what it's supposed to be about. But when you have people coming here, and it's about voting to change the way the country is and the culture of this country, that's the complete opposite of what she just said. She said people come in and integrate. No, they don't. Go through Whitechapel. Why the fuck is there no English people there then? If they integrate, why is there no English people there?
Full of criminalised young men
That's
who
right,
drop
Moomin.
their passports. You're laughing at me, but it's a fact. They're criminals, a lot of them. What do you say to that?
You're putting out the sort of scare story that Reform does. These boats are full of... I was an archaeologist. I've worked in the Middle East a lot. I know exactly what's happening.
Okay.
The fact is, these young men come over because the women with children can't make that sort of journey.
So the women and children can't make that sort of journey. Okay, let's play by her rules for a second, right? Let's play by her rules. They can't come because it's too dangerous. Where are they getting the money to get from Syria to here if it costs thousands and thousands and thousands? Where's the money coming from then if they don't have money? They do have money. Otherwise they wouldn't be able to make that trek in the first place. Why is there so much crime coming from these people then? Why is there so many incidents with children? Why? What, because they're good men?
The camps in the north of France, there are lots of women and lots of children, but to make that dangerous sea crossing is not something they want to do. The young men come here. If we allowed them to work, if we allowed them to take jobs...
It's basically, again, these people are the enemy of this country, the enemy of the state. They're the fucking enemy of the state. This is what I'm saying. You guys know, on this channel, I've played I've always played the middle of the road on things. I'm right-leaning, obviously, you can tell by the way that I talk. Yeah, because I care about this country. It's my home. I'm going to be more outspoken about these things. If it gets me in trouble, it gets me in trouble. Because what I'm seeing in this country and what I saw last night is very, very concerning. I will congratulate the Green Party because they won. But I don't believe it's for the greater good of this country. I don't believe it's for the greater good in this country, and I believe that every single place now that's got these Muslims... I will look at the map now, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. I told you yesterday, I put up a community post, and I said they will win because the Muslims will block vote, and they did. How do you? This is what I said about Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan has won 3 terms as the mayor of London. He's not a great guy. We all fucking hate him. But if you've got a majority of people there that are Muslims and that are going to go out and block vote just because he's a Muslim, he's always going to win. He's always going to win. He will, if he stands again, he will piss it. It doesn't matter who stands up against him. He will win because they've got themselves together and they work as a unit, as a team. We will always vote for our own. So if you're talking about integration and about people coming into and adapting to our culture, that's a load of bollocks then, isn't it? Because I don't believe if you've got 1 million Muslims, I don't believe every single one of them goes, yeah, Sadiq Khan is everything that I want. And none of the others do what I want, just that one man. And it's nothing to do with the faith. I call bullshit on it. And it needs to be called out now, because it's getting to a stage where if we don't say something about it and play too coy and play too nice about things, it's going to get to the stage now where the whole country will be run by we'll have a Muslim government, and then they will start to change the laws in this country because they will control it. And they've been telling you this is what they want to do. They tell you this is what they want to do. This isn't me spreading fear and hate. Last night proved it. It doesn't matter. And the government now, the Labour Party and Reform and all of these, they're still going around and pandering to this notion of, well, we need to look at it's nothing to do with your policies. Wake up. It didn't have to be Zach who was the front of the Green Party. It could have been fucking Mickey Mouse. It could have been Mickey Mouse. It's a party for those group of people, that ideological group of people, to go, let's vote for them, then we can get into Parliament, then we can start making changes to this country. Are they going to be making... So if you've got a Muslim majority in Parliament, do you think that they're going to go, right, how can we help the British people? Fucking wake up. Wake up, bro. You know? And that's what's happening. So I'm going to show you, let's have a quick look at London, right? London. And I'll tell you right now, in May, how it will go. I will tell you who will win and where. Because it's at this point, it's just obvious. London constituencies. Constituency map. And you'll be able to see, and this is what I'm saying, because last night will be a representation of what, and I don't do this, I don't come in here and make assumptions and guess what things will be, but last night proved what we've been saying for flipping ages. Let's get a map. One moment, my friends. Oh, no, I'll put London boroughs, that'll do, sorry. My brain's still in that. London boroughs, right. I already know 2 or 3 of them that will be green. I already can tell you. Right, Romford and Havering. That's where my family is. So I'll tell you what. Let's look at this up. Right, here I'll show you. All right. So Tower Hamlets. This is central London. So where Starmer and all that lot are here, Westminster. Right, Havering here. And out here, this is towards Essex on the right, yeah, for those that don't know. So Essex is here, North London, West London, South London, obviously, North East, South West. We just spoke about someone who said in an interview she's from Tottenham. Tottenham is around here, up here. So, yeah, Waltham Forest and Tottenham and all of that is up here. It's just off the map. So it's up here somewhere. Right, Romford and Havering is either going to go Reform or Green Party, because Romford has been inundated, and I suppose that's Dagenham. Romford and Havering has been inundated with people that are from the African community that have been put in places towards Dagenham Heathway, and in Havering. So there is a large amount of people now that are migrants in this area, right? Ilford and Redbridge, 100% that's Green Party. So if you remember about 3 or 4 years ago in England, there was a man arrested called Anjem Chowdhury. He's the guy who was linked to terrorism and everything else, Anjem Chowdhury. He's from Ilford. So Redbridge consists of Redbridge, Gantsill, Ilford, Newbury Park. Where else is there? Newbury Park, Gantsill, Ilford. There's a couple of other places there, but those places are, especially Ilford. Ilford is you. I'll show you Ilford. Let me just show you Ilford, because it's easier if I just show you, isn't it? It's just so it's just what I'm saying. I can tell you what's going to happen, right? Ilford Lane.
About Reform UK. Look, the point is, Kate, if you live in this country, I do think you should actually speak English. This is one of the biggest
I
problems
agree with what he's saying. I'm not a fan of him.
Communities.
Right, Ilford Lane. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is Ilford Lane. So this is. But Ilford Lane. Does this look very English to you? There you go, Ilford Lane for you. And this is 2025, last year. Here's your proper English city, proper English town. There you go. Looks lovely, doesn't it? I used to live here. This is where I was raised. Yep, this is England. Not even lying. Right, so that's Ilford. The next one is Barking. Let's have a look at Barking. Barking is Barking and Dagenham. So yeah, Ilford comes under Ilford and Redbridge. That comes up there. So Barking and Dagenham here. Let's have a look at Barking and Dagenham. Barking High Street, I suppose. Let's see how British Barking. See what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
I visited the poorest town in London, Barking and Dagenham.
Here we
Historically,
go.
Essex, Barking and Dagenham was recently crowned the poorest borough to live in Greater London. Home of
Because if you are outsider, maybe you get scared after coming outside the station. But I live here. I know all the people.
I had my arms broken here. That's where I had my arms broken when I was younger. I was about 14. I can show you where it was as well. Shall I show you? I'll interest you. Again, I'll show you because I'll tell you what it's like. It's really like in these places. Right, let me find a map. What do you call it, guys? When you go on, is it Google Maps and like you can see the street? Is that what's that called? Google Maps. And I'll show you where it was. I'll show you where. Well, it weren't my arms. It was my wrists got snapped. And I'll show you where it is. Is it Google Maps? I don't know how to do it. Or is it Google Earth? I don't know what that thing's called. Street View. Thank you. Street View. Go to Street View. Right, someone's going to need to tell me how to do it. Oh, right, it's in right, I'm going to show you where. Oh, I should have used this one in the first place. It would have been easier. What an idiot. There we go. We'll use this one. Epstein requested. Yeah, so London, right, we'll zoom further in. So you'll see what I mean. So Redbridge. When I said to you, where was it? Wood Green, Stratford. Where was it? North Enfield. Look, and I said Tottenham's up here somewhere. Yeah, Waltham Cross, Cheshunt. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So here, Essex is past here. Romford and Havering is this part here. Right, Romford and Havering is this part here. And Brentwood, that's where the only way is Essex is, if anyone actually cares. That was right here. DJ'd there a couple of times, not that great, but yeah. So I'm going to go to Barking and I'll show you where I lived. And it is rough. That's one of the few places I would be a bit cautious about going. Even me. Like, and I don't care about nothing. It's one of the few places I'd be a little bit like, Right, I've got to remember where. Right, so the station is there. Do I just drop the little man on it? I don't know how it goes. Okay, here we go. Right, cool. I know where we are now. Right, so Barking Station's on our right, which is here. And this used to be such a lovely area. That used to be the cinema, that big thing, that big building up there on the right at the end. That used to be the Odeon. That's where I saw Batman Returns. I used to love it there. Now it's a Nando's and a block of flats. Surprise, surprise. This is the shopping centre, which is terrible. It's called Vicarage Fields. That is not a good... It's not a good place at all. That's not a good place at all. Right, so I'm going to show you what happened exactly. I'll take you through my journey when I was 13 years old. So this up here was where the market is. So the station's back that way. The market begins here. Again, this used to be the English market. Not anymore. I don't know if you could be allowed to go down here. No, you can't. 1 minute. Does it allow you to go that way? No, don't allow you. Oh, it takes you off the road. Oh, look, where the McDonald's, right, the McDonald's is there, right. You see where the McDonald's is there? That's where we went on a Sunday. And we was on our mountain bikes and everything. So we've run, the station's down that road. If you go up there and turn right, down that way and turn right, that's back where the station is. So we went there, me, Matthew and Michael. My bike was outside with the boys. I went in to get cheeseburger and nuggets. Someone stole my bike. So I was like, well, that ain't good, is it? Let's see if I can get back over there, actually. Let's go back a page or two. Right, cool. Yeah, so that McDonald's is up there on the right. So like where that building is up there. This has been closed off. This used to be a road that goes all the way around. So I've come running down here because I see someone stealing my bike down here. And I've run down this road here. And as I say, that path weren't there. That was a road that come around. So I've come running around this corner. It's that fucking alleyway, man. This is exactly where it was, bro. This is where I got my wrists broken. We can't go down there. Well, it was down there. Down here. And I went round here and there was some kids there with my bike. Or it may have been this bit here. I can't remember. And there was a garage. I think like it's just round here. There's a garage. Like garages at the back. And there were kids like, nah. So they've tried to take off on my bike and I put my fucking hands in the wheels. You know what I mean? Hello, Paz. Is Paz? Did you say Paz was there? Shout out to Paz, yeah. So this is what's happening, guys. This is anyway. So this is Barking and Dagenham, and I believe that this will be a place that will 100% be green. It's not going to. You can't see the people there going to vote for reform. So that area will be Barking, Dagenham, East Ham. What does Barking and Dagenham go up to East Ham? It must be the lines here. It must be Chadwell. No, it must be. I'm not sure actually how far it goes. I think it goes to East Ham. Right. What was the next one? The next one. So I think those two will be green, definitely. Newham will be green. Tower Hamlets will be green. Lambeth would be. Harrow would be. Barnet would be. So I think 4 or 5 at least of these, Westminster would be, I think 4 or 5 of these will turn to green. At least. Because they've seen how it can, you know what I mean? They've seen how block voting can work now. Gavin, what do you think about the infighting on the right? People calling Warsaw for it. I think it's disgusting, Jode. I think it's disgusting, and that's kind of why I went a little bit against reform. I made a video about it, and I think Layla Cunningham is a disgrace. You know, I kind of like her. You know, I quite like her. She's outspoken. She does what she's got to do. But the fact remains, she's come out and said all of the people that are voting for Restore Britain are racist and far-right neo-Nazis. Fuck you, Layla. That's my language. Sorry, but I'm just not going to be nice anymore. Fuck her. Because that's the same rhetoric and the same poison that the Conservatives use, that the Green Party use, and what Labour use. And the problem is now, because Reform have lost this election, they're going to change their policies now and they're going to appeal more to the Muslims because they want to win. That's what's going to happen. He will change his policies and he will back off more because he knows the only way to win is get the Muslim vote. And it's the wrong way to be thinking about the way we should be doing things in this country. That is insane that we're even sitting here having this conversation. We don't sit here and say this about black people. We don't sit here and say this about Hindus. Because they just vote, how they want to vote. Do you know what I mean? There's no us against them, but it's not us making that happen. This stuff needs to be out in the open and spoken about a heck of a lot more by the media and by the government. It needs to be openly spoken about. Do you think people like Zara Sultana, Iqbal Mohammed, all of these people that are MPs in Parliament, do you think those Muslim people there are sitting there going, right, I'm going to do what's best for Christians and I'm going to do what's best for... Like, fuck are they? It was only last 6 months ago where the guys in Parliament talking about inbreeding. And they're talking about how we shouldn't ban cousin marriage. We're talking about sleeping with your own family and having babies, for fuck's sake. And we're sitting here going, well, you know, we've got to sort of bend a little bit for people. What are we talking about? No. And it's getting to that stage. You know what I mean? I don't know how to communicate it any other way. I don't know how to. Discord 2 videos ago. Sky News, nice map. Oh, yep, good man. Gotcha. Well done. That's how you remind me. There you go. That's the one. Thank you, Species. Yeah, let's get to this one that you sent me. My apologies. Thank you, Species. Because, yeah, I do get a bit distracted. Cheers. Joshua, I'll tell you what's happened. There was an election, so where... I was going to show you here. So where this is here, this is Manchester is like massive around here. This is to the east of Manchester in Gorton and Denton, and the Green Party have been elected. So like, you know, like I suppose you're in the States, aren't you, Josh? So it would be like them getting bloody, I don't know, Minnesota or something. Like they've been elected in that one place. So there's going to be like local elections around all the different states, if you like.
This is how Gorton and Denton split down by ethnic minority. And you can see in one part there is a large South Asian community in the sort of Gorton heart, whereas the Denton part is almost overwhelmingly white. And I think most Reform people would say that they were trying to mine voters in this part of the constituency. But here, I think this has largely been a battle between Labour and the Greens.
So, as you can see there, look at all of that. Yes, that's what we're saying. Look at this. So you're telling me about integration. So Denton is all white and all Gorton is all Asian. And they've integrated, have they?
Look at this.
Really?
This is how Gorton and Denton split down by
crazy.
ethnic minority. And you can see in one part there is a large South Asian community in the sort of Gorton heart, whereas the Denton part is almost overwhelmingly white. And I think most Reform people would say that they were trying to mine voters in this part of the constituency. But here, I think this has largely been a battle between Labour and the Greens.
Oh,
Look at this. This is how
it just shows you what's going on, doesn't it? It shows you what's going on. And the thing that's really, as I say, the thing that's really sad is the government are still going to they're going to play this down to politics, like we've got to change our policies and everything, and it's not about that, you know? We're past that. We're well past that. I'm going to show you some of the other things that have been said that should... See, look, this is outside a polling office. Look, canvassing with a pro-Palestine flag and the Green Party. That's against the law in this country. You can't be outside canvassing an area to try and persuade people how to vote. Not that it was going to change anyone, but... Why is it okay to have more than one wife for some folks, but only one is allowed by law in this country? Exactly. He looks very well integrated into English culture, doesn't he, in society? See what I mean? You can just keep pointing it out and everyone's just going to pretend it ain't happening. Let's see. Let's see what else we've got. Right, here we go. This is one I wanted to show you. Again, when you've heard the saying, when they tell you, listen to them. This is a prime example, right? This is in the UK. Listen to the words. This isn't me. Listen to the words.
I've been told that they are planning to come to Wakefield on the weekend, but I highly doubt that they will come. You see that these protests that they're doing, they're in localities where the numbers of the mu'mineen are very little. Down south, Middlesbrough, very small number of mu'mineen. Have they not read into the history of the Battle of Badr? How we were only 313 in number? But that 313 defeated an army of 1,000 simply because of their unwavering faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all we can do is we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides these individuals towards the path of Islam. You've seen some of their own members denounce them, completely going against what they are teaching and saying that, look, I used to be part of them, but I don't stand with them anymore because I realize that they are too extreme in their beliefs. And as much as they want to destroy Islam and eradicate Islam, Islam is here to stay. And it is here to stay till the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah because that is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the reason why Islam is the quickest growing religion wherever you go in this world. No matter how much you try to destroy Islam, they tried it 1400 years ago with the...
Yeah, and listen to this. I'm sorry. I've got to say it, yeah. They're going to say all of this, and when it kicks off in this country, and it will kick off in this country, because there's still 60 million more English people, I don't want to hear anyone say this is all far right and racist when you've got this bullshit being put in front of our faces for decades, telling us we're going to replace you, they're telling you in plain sight, and our government does nothing.
Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, they failed then.
You see what I mean?
People have tried throughout history, they failed then. People are trying right now, they are currently failing. They will try all the way to the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, and they will continue to fail simply because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that He will be the one to protect the religion of Islam, even if there is nobody else left to protect it.
See, the problem is the government and the West is trying to battle this with policies and logic. These people are not here for policies and logic. They do not give a fuck about the West. You know what I mean? Get it in your head.
I've been told that they are planning...
Do you think this fella here, do you really think this fella here cares about nightclubs in London? Do you think he cares about English people going to see Manchester United play Manchester City? No. Do you think he cares about, I don't know, your nan and granddad having pie mash? No. It's about removing that. They do not want that here. And they're telling you it. And the government's like, well, you know, maybe they can integrate. You're getting it wrong. You can integrate the black community. You can integrate Sikhs, Hindus, because they come here and they go, right, we want to start a business. We've got a shop. We've got this. We're gonna integrate. You know what I mean? Integrate. There's none of this talk. I'm hateful. You can call it hateful. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. Oh yeah, and there's been no talk of the churches. There's the church that was on fire in Southall. We've had how many churches? 150 churches burn in the last year in England. Where's all the fucking media coverage? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's nuts. Let's see. Well, let's listen to some bits from last night.
In a really dangerous way. I listened very closely to what you said. You have talked.
What's so wrong with hate? Because I don't want to be hateful. I don't want to be like this towards Muslim people. I hate that I have to be like this. I don't want to be like this towards Muslim people. Do you know what I mean? I do not want to be like this. It comes across as I'm divisive and I'm being nasty. I want to sit here the same as I want to look at Muslim people the same way as I look at Hindus and Sikhs. All right, mate, how's it going, bro? Yeah, man, have a good day. Wicked, man. How's life? How's the kids? How's the family? Oh, your business is going well. Fucking good for you, bro. Oh, you're expanding the business. That's fucking awesome, mate. You got a job. You know what I mean? I want it to be like that. Normal. I don't want it to be someone coming up to me. Oh, are you going to convert? Why have you not converted? You're a sinner. You're infidel. Now, fuck off then. I'm not interested.
Evening about the
oil and water. Well said, Moomin.
And the possible problems that we have seen, and Nigel Farage has highlighted that. But when you read
I'm saying I'm hateful because that's how I know how it comes across, Jode. I know how it comes across, and it's how else can you put it? The government and everyone else is too afraid to say something about it, you know? All you need to do, is what I'm saying, if anyone wants to challenge me on it and come on here and have a long conversation about it and slag me off and call me racist, I'm more than welcome to put it on camera because I will call you out on camera. I don't mind anymore. I don't mind anymore because if someone wants to say those things to me, then I'll just say, okay, why have you not called out the child marriage in this country? Why are you not calling out the inbreeding in this country? Why do you think it's okay to beat women in this country? That's it. And I'm not going to say that to anyone who's Sikh, because it don't happen like that. I'm not going to say it to anyone who's a fucking Hindu, because it don't happen. You know what I mean? There's not the same cultural differences. It's just not the same differences.
When you read this social media, a different argument is being made, one that's much more fundamental, suggesting that democracy is under threat.
Yes, it is.
Because of the way that the Green Party tried to attract the votes of certain parts of the Denton and Gorton constituency.
I mean, when I look at this, right, when I look at what's happening, when it says a dangerous Muslim sectarianism has emerged, we have only one general election left to save Britain. He isn't wrong, because if the Green Party were to win, which I don't think that they would, but if they were to win, let's just be real, dude. Come on, man. Like, let's just be real. You want me to be honest? And I know there's some Muslim people watching this right now probably hating me. I'm going to just say it how it is. Zach is gay. He's a homosexual and likes having sex with other men. Fucking good for him. Makes him happy, doesn't it? Yeah? He's gay. Good for him. I don't care. He's gay. Do you really think all of the Muslim community, if they voted for him to get into power, do you really think they're going to let a gay man run the country? Really? Really? I'll laugh the day that I see them welcome him into a mosque. Then I will take my hat off and say well done. When they welcome Zach into a mosque and the imam says, we welcome gay people in this mosque. It's never going to happen because we've got completely different ideologies and cultures. Do you understand? So you can't say it's hypocritical or not hypocritical to have someone like that leading the party when it's everything you detest and it's everything you want eradicated. It doesn't line up. And that's not me creating hate. It's fucking what it is. It is what it is. How can you know what I mean? How can one person lead all of these people and they hate gay people? But we like him. No, you don't. You like him because you want to get into the position of power. It's not difficult to understand, is it?
Is democracy really under threat because of the way...
He won't get it. He won't get it. I'm telling you. You're right, but he won't. I don't think he will make it to polling day. I'm pretty sure they don't like people like him. He won't make it. I said this the day that he got put in. The day that he got put in, you put a white woman with blonde hair. Oh, mate, that crazy bitch. I've got something for her about Hannah. Oh, my God. I've got two things I want to show about her, right? Hannah. And this isn't because it's friends with Asian people. So when people come at me for that, it's not about that. It's bigger than that. Zach, gay man. Let's put a gay man at the front because it looks good. We're so welcoming. We're so welcoming. Let's get an English, white, blonde woman. Put her at the front. We're so welcoming. Foot in the door, fuck off. Because it's exactly what's happened in every other country that this sort of thing has happened. Now, in terms of Hannah, I want to find it and show it to you. I'll get back to this video. I have to show it to you. I found it. There you go. Thank you to Patrick Smith for this because this is glorious. So this is Hannah, yeah? Hannah Spencer, the woman who's won. And I don't like her and I don't like what they're doing, but I can say congratulations for winning. Congratulations for winning. I don't think it was done fairly. I think it was a bit, but they've won and you've got to accept that. I don't like it, but you have to accept it, okay? She says, I stand for allowing women with penises into single-sex spaces. Do any of you believe that? No. Do Muslims believe that? No. Okay. Open borders, allowing in hundreds of thousands of sexual deviants from misogynistic cultures. She doesn't believe in that. But what do Muslims want? They want more people here. So that means there's more people that come to the country. Therefore, they can spread out and vote in these constituencies and get people put into parliament. Wow. Legalise hard drugs. They've come out and said that they want to make crack cocaine and heroin and everything else legalised. I mean, you've got to be an absolute psychopath to say that. Next, it'll be paedophilia. Anyway, it's just... you get the idea. This is her. There's two things that she's done during this election that should have been mainstream media news that is shocking. This is one of them. So she was interviewed in 2021 in a post on Mumsnet. Hannah Spencer also described the High Street, which is where she's just won. The High Street in Leversham, one of the main towns in the constituency, is being full of money laundering takeaways. The comments unearthed amid a bitter campaign by the by-election on February the 26th will be a blow to Miss Spencer's image as a hard-working local woman. This was a couple of years ago. So she's telling you that the whole community is fucking corrupt. There's money laundering takeaways in that Muslim community, and she is out there representing them. I've got to show you the post. I know the regulars have seen this, but I need to put it in. I need to put it in because it all adds up. That should be... She moved away from the area because it was corrupt, bent and nasty. Then she's gone back and she's representing it to become an MP for that party to get in power. Sounds legit to me, guys. Sounds so legit to me. Right, this is what I wanted to show you. So for those that have not seen our community page, here we go. This was what she posted, her. This is what I said. The Green Party summed up celebrating on the grave of Christians. Look at this, what this is here. It's got the Quadria Jilanya Islamic Centre. This is in Denton, Gorton. So you think to yourself, well, she's just outside posing. It's that. There you go. Good for you. You're canvassing. Great. Good for you. Then you zoom out. Look, there's the sign. Oh, look, it's a church that's been eradicated to become an Islamic centre in Manchester. And she's celebrating that on the dead English people's graves. So they're celebrating, taking over and standing on the dead relatives of the people of this country. That is how I look at it. You might try and say that I'm hateful. I do not give a shit anymore. I don't care. I don't care. Let's put it the other way round. Let's put me and 10 of you for, I don't know, for Labour or Conservatives, whoever we're representing, and we've got a Christian thing behind us. Then you find out it's an old burnt out mosque, and then you've got dead Muslims' graves on the floor. And it's us standing over it, celebrating. Let that sink into your heads. Let that sink in. That's not me creating hate. That's manipulation of not showing people the full fucking picture. If you were honest, you would have shown the full picture, Hannah. Dead English people. And you're celebrating it and walking over their graves like... You should be ashamed of yourself, man. Because even though I feel this way, and I don't want this country to change and be eradicated, even though I've got this kind of built up resentment, even I wouldn't go out and canvass outside a mosque and do that. I wouldn't fucking do that. That is so disrespectful, man. Why on earth? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even do it. Even if it was for me to get reform or restore Britain in, I wouldn't go. If someone said to me personally, Gav, go and stand outside of a mosque, this is for restore Britain, blah, 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 I'd be like, hang on a minute, mate. That's Muslims or Hindus or Sikhs. That's their family there, bro. Nah, man, I believe in karma. This is bigger than me, man. Like, I'm a Christian. That's bigger than me. You can't be doing that. That's so disrespectful. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. No, I wouldn't do it because again, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in. You know what I'm saying? There's a higher calling for that. I can't do that. It's not right. Yeah, sorry. I'll get back to it. I know I kind of waffle on, but yesterday I really had a bad day because I didn't know how to convey my feelings about all of this. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I don't care what you think. You're just a bloke. That's fair enough. But because I do this 24/7, it's really hard to keep this in your mind all the time, you know? Like when you're seeing this happen to your country, it's very hard for me to just go, well, and it's got to come a time where we've got to stand up and go, you know, enough is enough. And this is way past that line.
Matthew Goodwin, you hoped to be Reform's 9th MP. What went wrong? Because it wasn't even close.
Sectarianism. That's what happened. We more than doubled our vote. We're in Labour's backyard. We're the second political force in this seat. We have planted a flag in Northern England. You'll have seen the Reform boards up and down this constituency. More than 10,000 people voted for us. We can go on to Labour constituencies across Northern England, into the Red Wall, into Wales.
Simon,
we can win those seats. We will win those seats. Again, the Greens can only pull this kind of result off in a small number of seats. We can do this everywhere. Our ground game is the best game in British politics. We're not resorting to sectarian politics to get us over the line. I think we've run a very professional campaign. I think we've connected with the local people. You know, again, not many British people want legalised crack cocaine and heroin, open borders, scrapping our nuclear deterrent. The reason the Greens...
I like, you say I'm a useful idiot. That's not very nice. No, I'm not a useful idiot. I've got beliefs that are higher than me, bro. Like, I've got beliefs that are higher than what my calling is. I've got a conscience. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't do it on a Christian grave. I just, you know what I mean? I couldn't do it. It's about respect. If you haven't got respect for others, then
have won here, let's be honest.
Cheers, Starboy.
It's exactly what that report was warning about a few hours ago. Family voting, otherwise known as sectarianism. Now, we can have a conversation in this country about sectarianism and what it's doing to our democracy, or we can pretend it's not happening. It's clearly happening.
Yeah, very good point, Sam C. Very, very good point, yeah. Fought them in Iraq and Afghanistan just to lose to them. You fought in Afghanistan and Iraq? I didn't know that. Yeah. All right, let's continue on. That's the weakness they're relying on. Yeah, and yeah. I understand what you're saying. Right. Okay, let's continue on. Again, it is more than anything. I believe it's naivety from English people. I mean, do you think she's going to be welcomed? Of course not. But she's going to vote for him because she's like, oh, the world is so nice. You know, it's nice to get along, and the world isn't like that. Yeah, that's what it is, Dark Angel. We've got to learn to play the game. Now, it would kind of be like, realistically, saying all white people need to vote a certain way, or all white and black people and Hindus and Sikhs. It's like all of us need to get together and all of us need to vote a certain way. Even the thought of saying that would get us in trouble. But when that one specific community does it, it's okay.
I'm voting for the Greens because I want a change
I'm sorry, I didn't know that, Josh.
Approach from this government about their attitude towards climate.
For you, bro. Love.
Climate, immigrants, and all the horrible rhetoric that they have been using to talk about my friends and neighbours and indeed my family, which they have just been picking up from Reform. And I'm really very deeply upset that we have a Reform candidate here who doesn't live in the constituency, peddles hate for a living, coming and knocking.
Well, Hannah doesn't live there anymore. She admitted she left because it's corrupt and there's a lot of money laundering there. So what the fuck is she talking about?
On my friends and neighbours, asking for their votes when he doesn't even think they belong here in this country. I think the Greens offer a message of hope and change, and something that
I'm with you, Starboy.
will make the country a place that I'm proud to be part of and bring my children up in.
And it sounds really, really disgusting, yeah? It's really, really horrible for me to say, but it feels like the reason I speak like this is because I've seen it. The reason I feel this way is because I've seen it, and it feels like the people that vote for Reform are the people that have seen what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really seen what's going on. And it's the people that have got their heads in the clouds that are like, oh, no, it's all good, it's all good. And it's not until you see another bomb go off, it's not until you see, oh, that a woman like that loses her child, gets kidnapped. It's not until something like that happens when these people, and I've seen it over and over and over again with people, you know? They go, oh, no, it's all right, it's all okay. And then some sort of thing happens, some sort of incident happens, and they go, oh my God, this is dangerous. Yes, we've been telling you that. Last night happened, and people are like, oh, people are voting in group thought. The Muslims are yes, we've been saying that for 20 fucking years. How do you think Sadiq Khan won? We've been telling you that, and you've been calling us racist. It's just happening now. It's just now, this is the first time that it's been caught on camera and people are seeing it on the news. So a lot of people like us lot who talk about it, we see this all, we know what it's like. The majority of people in this country are asleep and they don't know. And they don't. I spoke to my dad about it and he's like, oh, it's just one little election. I'm like, you don't get it, do you? It's only until something drastic happens, you know? Susan Hall, who we've seen all of those town hall meetings, she says, the Green candidate in Gorton and Denton has won by the election. It's not just Labour that are in deep trouble. God help our country. And she's a Conservative. Don't even think the same as me. Yeah, I see it. It's called cultural Marxism, which has been going on for 30 to 35 years. And our town centres are getting me down, man. I don't know anyone who would think any different. They can't be English or a Londoner. Yeah, I know. The town centres are a trash hole. Like Romford used to be amazing. Romford Market, oh my God. I'll tell you what, you're talking about Essex. Let's see how wonderful it used to be. Let's just pretend it's still like it for a second. Romford, I don't know, even going back to the 90s maybe. Romford Market, 90s.
I visited the poorest town in London, Barking and Dagenham.
Let's just have a look. Romford, and we'll carry on anyway. Romford Market, 90s. Let's just have a look. Here we go, Romford Market. This is in, this is 1980s. Just so you, this is, yeah.
Romford Market goes back to the time of Henry III, when havering was one of his manors. He granted local merchants the right to set up shop along the route of a former Roman road. Today boast the traders.
And this is typical old school UK markets. You know, just England. That church, I love that church.
Romford Market goes back to the time of Henry III, when havering was one of his manors. He granted local merchants the right to set up shop along the route of a former Roman road. Today, boast the traders, Romford has one of the oldest markets in the country. They've jealously clung on to a charter which says there can be no opposition within a radius of roughly 6 2/3 miles, a day's walk. The council backed them.
As you can see, the market here is very much an integral part of the Romford town centre.
This is 30 years ago, but 30, 40 years ago. Just listen to how he talks.
And as a council, we're concerned to protect the town centre and the market. Not only does it bring in an income itself from the market rents, but in addition, the whole of the town centre is, we think, the leading shopping area of East London. And we're very anxious to make sure it stays that way.
According to the letter of the charter, a rival market isn't permitted inside...
Again, do you know what's funny, yeah? I used to go here, 15 years after this, right? I used to go up here. There used to be, I don't know if you lot remember, it would have been in the 90s, yeah? Do you know where it is on the right here, that white building? If you walk along, there was like the indoor market bit, and you had them funny mirrors, like the crazy mirrors, and it stretches you all out and all of that. And just outside there used to be this fat dude, and he used to have a burger thing. So like before the indoor market, he had like, as you walk into the market, like the market is here, like the front, there was like a shop bit, but he had like an open bit, and it was burgers, and he made like the fresh burgers. And I used to go to the market just to go and see him, and he had his thing there, and oh my God, the burgers were so good. That's gone. Half that indoor market is gone. Half of this market is gone. I'll show you what it's like now.
Distance a man could walk from Romford in a day, driving sheep or cattle. Almost 740 years
Pacific
later,
Edge, I used to
is that
DJ
a
there.
reasonable restriction.
What the traders in Romford are more interested in is to make sure that no, how can we call it, organisation, a cowboy organisation, will open up a market within our chartered rights, which will take the bread and butter away from the traders here.
Would you go as far as to demonstrate...
That's someone working on a market. Listen to how he talks.
...with cattle or sheep, that the particular Ilford site is within that one day's walking distance?
If necessary, yes, I would. I think it would be a challenge. I would do it, yes.
A London cabbie is behind the Ilford plan. He says he's seen off the challenge of a royal charter before to start a market.
They don't want fly-by-night, what we call market operators opening here, there and everywhere. I think they're justified to a degree, but no one has ever challenged the charter at the moment.
Right, Romford Market.
I've started something, and I think that I will see it through.
Let's look at Romford now. Where's Romford now? Oh, this is the high road that goes into the market. This is Romford now. This is Romford now, look. See the difference? Do you see the difference? Northfield, oh, yeah, Northfield, I used to love that as well. Used to go to the car boot sales there and all of that. So you can see the difference of what it's like. Like my nan, granddad and all of them, they'd be turning in their graves for what they've fought for, you know? And that's what it's starting to feel like. They would be turning in their graves. But again, I can't completely blame immigrants and all of that. I found a video on the KKK, so we're going to do that one day next week. Because I've said to you, like, I know about them, but I want to know the ins and outs to see and do a video about it. Let's see if we've got asking English people if they're proud to be British. Let's have a listen, shall we? This is now. We'll run it back. Let's have a listen to see what British people feel about England.
This is my country. It's the best country in the world. What's to be proud of?
Oh, good God, no. No, I hate England. This place sucks.
You just can't. There's just nothing like to be proud of anymore.
The country is taking a bit of a turn politically, so I don't think I'm proud in that sense.
Spent quite a lot of time marching against fascists.
and I'm just disappointed to find myself here again.
No, not that much. Well, I think with all the political climate at the moment, it's a bit tricky.
No, not really. I wouldn't say. No.
Are you proud to be British?
Absolutely. But that's quite a loaded question in today's climate, and I think there are lots of things that, make us should be proud to be British, and that includes.
And it makes you go crazy because when you hear all of that stuff about Tommy Robinson and all of those over the last 15 years, and they all spread all this, oh, it's hatred, EDL, and all of that shit. Were they wrong? Were they wrong? They weren't wrong. They weren't wrong, were they? You know, look at what's going on in England. Look at England now to 20 years ago. It's not the same. It's not the same country.
Being sort of multicultural, that's a big part of being British.
No, not really. I wouldn't say. No. I've never felt particularly nationalistic or proud. I don't really care. Because I don't really feel like I don't have that much in common with like people from like London or like proper South. So why would I be proud?
Not really, no. It's not at the minute. It's just a bit shit, innit? Yeah.
No, not that much. Well.
Oh God, no. Oh, good God, no. No, I fucking hate England. This place sucks. The majority of people that I've met in England that are English, no, not all of them, obviously, you can't speak for everyone ever, but there's a good proportion of them that are just horrible people. The government sucks, the weather's awful, the job market's terrible, we get paid terribly. I mean, obviously the NHS now was really good, and now it's not being funded nearly enough, but when can it ever be funded enough? I don't know. No, I'm not particularly proud to be British. And we've got awful stereotypes for the rest of the world. I mean, we're the most obnoxious twats when it comes to holidays, and it's just horrible.
This is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, but fuck this guy. And it's a horrible thing to say. Am I proud to be British? Yes. Yes. Will I die for this country? Yes. Because my nan and granddad fought for this country. You know what I mean? Like, there's no respect. And that's what's been taught in colleges and universities. It comes from there. The whole thing is grown from there. Anyway, genocide, the definition, is defined as an intentional, coordinated and systematic destruction of a national, ethnic, racial or religious group, in whole or in part. It involves acts intended to eliminate the group's existence, such as killings causing severe bodily or mental harm, or transferring children. Intent. The core of genocide is the specific intent to destroy a group as such. Actions. Acts include killing members, causing serious bodily harm, mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction. Well, we've seen the physical destruction of this country, the mental destruction of this country, imposing measures to prevent births and forcibly transferring children, no. Legal definition, defined by the 1948 UN Genocide Convention as crimes committed with the intent to destroy a group. Cultural destruction. Genocide often involves destroying the social and cultural cohesion of a group. That's what's happening in England. That is what's happening in England. So you could call it a genocide, you could call it, you know, whatever you like, but it is happening. It's happening in this country. It literally says it there, cultural destruction. Because if they're voting yesterday based on their faith and not by the ideology and the culture of this country, you know, they're not voting in order to make this country better. They're voting for their own faith and their own people because they want in this country. Anyway. Good point, though. I think we could bring that up. I'm sure that will go viral if I do a video about that. I'll keep that in mind. I'm sure that will piss a lot of people off, but I don't mind. Right, let's continue on. Sorry, I don't normally do videos like this where I talk this much. Never, but here we are.
We refuse to learn other people's languages, and it's disgusting. No, I'd rather be French.
Of course I am.
I'd rather be French, you spineless little turd.
Why is that? Because I was born here. This is my country. It's the best country in the world.
That depends what you mean by proud, really. I feel lucky to have been born here. I've had an interesting life. Oops. I don't think it's particularly any better than anywhere else. You know, people are just people wherever you go. We don't have particularly horrible weather or poisonous animals, but I'm not sure what you mean. what's to be proud of? I didn't, you know.
Shameful.
It just happened to me. I can't take any responsibility for it.
No. How can you? Yeah. I think in this day and age, and like.
And that's what. Do you know what? I know that sounds silly. This is what I worry about, bro. Look at her. I know she's got a bit too much foundation on her face, but she's young, pretty little girl. But this is what I worry about. This is who I worry for. Men can look after themselves. Us men are raised in a world of flipping darkness. We're raised with this intent of things can go wrong. Shit can hit the fan and the guy's got to jump in front of the gun. That's how us as men, that's how we think. This is who I worry about. So when I see young women like this saying, oh, we want it to change, we want it to be like this, I don't think they truly understand what they're asking. I don't think they truly understand what this entails and what's going to happen to girls like this. And I don't want that.
Just like, you just can't. There's just nothing like to be proud of anymore. I wouldn't. In this day and age.
Us women can look after ourselves. You really think so? I don't know what to say to that. You really think you can look after yourselves? Really? Well, judging by the grooming gang inquiry and the rapes that's been going on in this country for the last 30 years, I don't think women can. If you want me to be honest, that's me being honest, mate.
The way that people are taking out like the flag out of context is just like people are just ruining it for themselves. And like even the protests that were going on in Piccadilly, like the fighting, I was just like, you're not even like fighting for your country, you're just being knobs.
Yeah, it's scary, like what's going on at the moment. I can't lie. But yeah, I wish it was like 2012 London Olympics, like that sort of community, like that was like when everybody was together.
That's because that's what they understand. That's all they understand, you know? They're not realising the changes that are happening, what they're voting for, what they're pushing for, you know? Because this is going to sound so sexist, but again, it's a conversation that needs to be had. Women, by far, live in a world of luxury. And I don't care if that upsets women. You live a different world to men. You live a world, not where I'm saying the world is given to you, but look at her, right? Look at this girl here. She could post photos of her ears on OnlyFans and make thousands. I can't do that because I'm a bloke. Women have certain things because men love women. We love women. Women are God's creation. They're everything that we all love. Men, we love women. So everything in the world revolves around trying to make a woman comfortable in life, trying to make a woman feel special. That's what we're here for. You might disagree with me, fellas, and again, it might come across as sexist. I don't care. My purpose on this earth is to procreate and push the bloodline of my family. That's what I'm here for. That's what I believe I'm here for. Not in a way of, forcing it on someone. I don't mean it like that, yeah? But to push the bloodline of my family, the ancestry of this culture, of my country, of my home. Yeah, but you're talking, yes, you're talking about the abuse of people that happen with English people and all of that in this country. I agree with you on that. But now look at the statistics of those in this country by community. Afghans commit the most sexual assault per capita amongst that community. To ignore that that's a problem is a problem within itself. To pretend that it's not happening is a huge fucking problem. If we've got, what have we got in this country? I think we've got 4 million Muslims. If we've got 4 million Muslims in this country, how can it be between 12 and 16% of them are in our prisons? How? We've got nearly 70 million people here. How can 4 million, 12%, or it was 12%, I think it's gone up. It ranges between 12 and 16%. How can 4 million people range between 12 and 16% of our full prison system? And a lot of those crimes are that. To say that it isn't a problem, and it's growing, it's steadily growing, and people are saying it's growing. And I agree with you when you're saying there's crimes in this country with white men and families and partners. I'm with you, man. Angela, I'm with you on that. I completely agree with that. And that's something that needs to be tackled. That's, without a doubt, I'm with you on that. No one is going to disagree with that.
that was good. That was Britain, but now it's just scary, everything that's going
People
on.
just believe everything that they see online, and it's terrifying.
I'm not British, but I've lived here for 13 years. Some cultural things that I enjoy and things that I'm from Denmark, so being part of like a bigger country, to see more like diversity and things like that, and I think that's really important.
Who do you think is more happy? Is it Hungary? Is it Hungary that have banned all illegal migration? Who do you think is happier culturally? Do you think the British people that we're seeing here, the majority of them, I don't like England, I'm not proud of being English, or the Hungarian people who do not let people in their country? Who do you think is happier culturally? I'm fucking telling you, the Hungarians. And Poland, yeah. These girls that were just on there, the blonde-haired girl and that, all of them girls can go out on the weekend, get pissed out of their heads. Yeah, you're going to get idiots, you're going to get all silly people and all of that. You're going to get that anywhere in the world. But they're going to be Polish people there. They're going to be Polish people there. They know where they can go and they can be safe. Girls cannot do that here in England. Girls don't do that anymore in England. Hence, nightlife, dead. Pubs and bars, dead. Because it's pushing too much danger into this country, and girls are like, fuck that. And if there's no girls going out in the communities, no lads are going to go out. Why would young boys go out? I used to go out when I was a lot younger because I want to go and meet girls. That's what you go out for, to find a mate, to find someone to get in a relationship with. I know sex and all of that, yeah, you're young and all that, have fun. But I'm talking, like, seriously. You go out because you want to meet women. You want to meet ladies. You want to meet a nice woman, get a nice missus, get a nice girlfriend. That's the whole purpose of it all. If you're not going out to do that, you know?
And it'd be hard for me to go back to Denmark because there's only 6 million people. So it's like, yeah, there's just like more happening and more going on. But I understand why people may not feel
there is,
proud.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. Because you'll be baffled, Angela, if you've not seen this. It's insane. Hungary. Oh no, Poland's a good one, isn't it? Poland. I don't know. Street interviews. Yeah, look at the difference. Look at the difference. I haven't even watched this, but look at the difference. Cultural. See, I've not even been here and already I'm looking at it. Look at every single person there. I know that my mum could walk through there at 11 o'clock at night and be safe. My mum's in her 70s. I don't even know this area. I don't even know where the heck Krakow, all right? But I don't know this. I don't know Poland. I would let my mum walk through there at 11 o'clock at night and I know she would be okay. Look at this. That is exactly what London used to be like. Not obviously the buildings because it's fucking Krakow, but look, people outside happy, no trouble. No idiots. Hey, Del Boy, want to watch? Del Boy, you want to watch? You want some drugs? Do you want some gear? None of that. That is what London used to be like. Oh, it's just heartbreaking, man. Cheers, Starboy. I'll get that up now. One sec. Let's see. Right, one sec. Josh, be nice to Moomin. Moomin is wonderful. All of us need to be nice and get along. So no arguing, please. I'm asking nicely. Right, cool. Cheers for those stats. We'll look at them in a sec. Right, so let's look at these stats. One sec. Right, here we go. Right, these are the stats, yeah? In 2000, England and... Let me just make that bigger, sorry. That's what she said. Whee! Right, here we go. In 2000, England and Wales reported 8,593 cases. Is this of assault? It is of assault. Yeah. Abuse. Female abuse. Germany reported 8,100. France reported 7,500. We're talking now to 2023, 68,109. So when people are saying, if you're saying that migration isn't negative and doesn't, and again, I'm not looking at the individual cases, but it's since 2000, before 2000, we had, what was it, from 1940, after the Second World War, again, it's one of my favourite stats, the UK used to have an average migration of 35 to 40,000 people come into the UK. From around 1995 onwards, the number's gone up. You know, a couple of years ago, it was nearly 1 million people. So last year it was 899,000 last year. So to say that to go from 35,000 people to 40,000 people in the 90s, from the 1940s up until around the 90s, till now, where you've got, you know, in essence, between 600 and a million, 600,000 and 1 million people, look at the difference in the last 20 years. How'd you go from 8,000 to 60,000 in 20 years? 60,000 more incidents of sexual assault on women in 20 years. Now, if we continue at this trajectory of what we're going on and we let more and more people into the country, what do you think that number's going to be in another 20 years? It's going to be another 60,000 more, so it'll be about 100,000, if not more. So to say that it's not changing the culture and the definition of everything that this country is, the numbers are there. Germany reported 39. It's so sad, man. Poland has gone down. The only country. Poland has gone down because they're so strict. Now, you tell me, would you rather have a country where you've got 68,000 assaults on women and kids, or a place where there's only 1,000, which is terrible in itself? 1,000 a year is a lot, but 1,000 compared to 68,000 is a big fucking difference. England and Wales increase of 59,000. Jesus Christ. 693% rise. So when you hear Keir Starmer and Sadiq Khan saying we're improving the country, things are going down. Really? Let's go back to 20 years ago, before all of this shit happened, and you opened up the fucking doors. It's heartbreaking. And as much as I dog on the French, look, and as I say, Poland has dropped. It's crazy, dude. Sad, isn't it? So to make the point, I'd rather be in one of those places. Right, let's see if there's anything like news-wise. I hope Nigel Farage gets it now. British Muslims despite the Reform Party. I think that's a fair enough answer. No, you despise the British culture. This is why you have not spoken out against the child abuse from your community, bushrat. I think that's a fair enough answer. And you can see in time that I'm going to get a lot of hate. Angela. So yeah, it's just, again, to me, it's all, yeah, it's all just like waffle and nonsense, ain't it? It's all waffle and nonsense. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream now. I'm going to restart another stream now, and we're going to play some Resident Evil on a full screen. So if you want to join me, I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea. I'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll start another stream. But I'm going to end this one for here. I know I apologise if I've offended anyone in my language. And I apologise if I've come across a bit harsh and a bit brutal. But I have to be honest from now on, and I have to just say how I feel, because I think if people don't start speaking up for this country, I think that we're going to see more of this, and I don't want to see this in England, and I'm better than you at it. Yeah. So yeah, I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. Peace and love, and thank you for joining me.